And there's a look at the entrance to the Up Express train platform. That'll take you to Union Station in downtown Toronto. Here from Pearson International Airport. And this is where you would grab the airport rail link to Terminal 3 or a few hotels in the area. And hello there, it is Tuesday, September 3rd, 9:51 a.m. is the time. And again, I'm here at Pearson International Airport. There's a dad going to the rescue of his kids playing on the escalator. And in July, I made a video that started just over there. And I flew with Air Canada to London. And that was an absolutely disastrous trip, or at least the Air Canada part was. That was like an 11, or the flight was either at 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. and it didn't end up, or a.m. Sorry, I didn't sleep much, and it didn't end up taking off until almost 9 a.m. the next day. And Air Canada kept us on our plane. Now, I think we boarded just after 11, and they kept us on the plane till after 3. And by the time we got off, immigration was closed, so we had to spend the night in the airport. I'll be doing an update on the applying for compensation process for that in the near future. But for this one, we are once again at Terminal 1 and once again flying Air Canada. I'll be flying AC01 from Pearson to Haneda in Tokyo. That guy's in a hurry. That's a 13-and-a-half-hour flight. I think it's on a Dreamliner. And this is a solo mission. I'll be going to Tokyo and a few other stops. And I'll be there for 3 weeks. And that's where the fun might begin, because as of September 17th, it is believed that the Air Canada pilots may go on strike. So if that happens, who knows, maybe I'll be stranded in Asia. They'll probably just fire off a new itinerary. They have the option, or they have to give you the option of either accepting a full refund or getting booked on a comparable flight and route within 48 hours. Here we go, 13:15, Tokyo Haneda, E79. And you can see 13:25 to Narita. There's another AC flight, AC009. We're going to the E-gates. So this video will be from here until I get off the plane. Then I think I'm going to do another video that is from Haneda Airport to my hotel, where I'm staying in Shinjuku, a popular area. It's my favorite area to stay in Tokyo. There's a million hotels and tons of things to do and see right at your front door. But really, it's hard to find a bad area to stay in Tokyo. The transit there is pretty out of this world. And this trip to here took me, I think, about an hour and 15 minutes door to door. I didn't take the quickest route. I went from Eglinton Station down to Union Station, and then I took see D and E gates international that way. So I can grab my boarding pass. If I don't do a paper boarding pass, I always get called to the front desk. Because they're like, are you actually here? Even though I'm checked in and I have my digital boarding pass. Yeah, I could have taken a quicker route here. I wanted to take the Up Express. It's been a while and I made a video on that. And you can see the video for that on this channel. It's probably up by now. I don't want to accidentally show my information here. Continue. Print. Boarding 12:30. Departure 13:15. Exit E79 or gate E79. And it's carry-on only, of course. Actually, for 3 weeks. This is the lightest my bag has been probably ever.
Hello. I didn't see you come in. Where are you from?
She's making sure he's in the right place. So security is right around the corner. I'm not going to record through there. I want to have all my stuff in my bags. I'll take it out when I get to the other side of security and we'll walk through the airport over to the gate, a familiar walk. I'm just going to make a little trip to the restroom. Usually this only takes about 10-15 minutes to get through. I just like to have my belt off and everything packed away before I even get to security. That way I can just put my 2 bags down, my laptop and battery banks, and pass through. That doesn't look too bad at all. Hey, there's a picture of Chinatown. So, as Arnold would say, I will be back and on the other side of security. And unfortunately, I have burned all my lounge passes for the year. So, I'll be slumming it this one. All right. I'll be back. Well, that took a little longer than I thought it might. When I emerged from the washroom, a few crews of flight attendants had shown up. And the security line got pretty long. There's a look in towards the D gates. That's where I had that fun adventure, another fun Air Canada adventure in February, I think, when I was flying with my friend Dahan. And our flight was delayed and canceled and rebooked 1,001 times in one night. And we were at the Plaza Premium Lounge over there. And all the fun started to happen. We were trying to make our way to Vancouver to get on a flight to Bangkok. And the funny thing is, that flight to Bangkok ended up taking off and getting over the ocean, then turning around. So we never would have made it. We did get, after several new itineraries, including one for the following day. We got one later that night that sent us to Amsterdam. I think you can find that video on the channel. We are going to the E-gates. So I'm just going to walk to the gate and I'll resume recording when it's time to get on the plane. The thing with Air Canada is when things go well, there's not much to complain about. But the problem is things don't go well a little more often than they should. I'm gonna speed walk this. And I haven't had my morning coffee. I think I'm gonna grab that and maybe set up an airport live stream. That was my first time going through this airport security in several flights without having any of my items screened. And the last major airport I flew out of was Heathrow. And much like Heathrow, there's a lot of complaints about how spread out things are here and how much walking you have to do. This is the newer terminal. There's Terminal 3, which I think is a little over 3 decades old. And there's also an island terminal. There's a currency exchange. Let's take the moving walkway. I don't have any Japanese yen on me. I'll probably change a little bit. Maybe at the airport. Maybe just 50 or 100 bucks, and then I'll do a few more hundred when I get into the city. And I have an FX currency fee-free card that I'll be using for most of my payments through Scotiabank. I think there's a faster kind of express moving walkway on the right that is out of service. Unfortunately, it's kind of taking our view away from some of the boarding gates. There's the Timmy's down there. It's not the Timmy's I'll be going to. I think those gates are all flying to American destinations. But this flight leaves at 1:15. It's on time about 70% of the time. And it's 13 and a half hours scheduled flight time, I think, on a 787-9. It'll be real nice not to be on one of their hellish Boeing 300 ERs. The 777s, those things are a nightmare in the 343 configuration. There's the Maple Leaf Lounge. I got to go there. When I flew to Korea, either last February or March, well, last year. All right, my gate is to the left, so there's a Starbucks here. Some food options. There's a Subway at East 70. That might be what the doctor ordered. Rock Squeeze. There's a burger place. Banh Mi. Paninis, $10.99. But for all the flack Pearson gets, this waiting area, the Terminal 1 departures area, is quite nice. It holds up to most other airports. Getting here can be a bit of a trick. And this was where I spent the night on that trip to London. Always wondered who buys these things. You have to have probably lost something. I don't think the prices are that great. Imagine your item gets stuck in this vending machine when you're waiting for your GoPro Hero 11 Black or your Galaxy Tab A8. All right, I may have. That's E77. I may have walked right past my gate. I was making my way to Timmy's. Tokyo, Haneda. Oh, we're E79. All right. We can check if our bird has landed yet. Looks like the flight even escaped before mine. Past people queuing up to board. So if you're flying to Tokyo, I definitely think Haneda is the play. It's an easier connection into the city. Just go to Google Maps and look at the distance. E79. Oh. Except for Tokyo Haneda. And this is where I spent the night. Airplane not found. And there's Timmy's. I'm gonna grab a snack and a coffee. And I will see you come boarding time. So zones 1 and 2 are boarding. I'm in 4. But a lot of people are lining up. And we are through. Going to 34G. Pretty smooth boarding process, and it looked like Everyone was adhering to their zones, so I shouldn't really have a problem getting a spot in the overhead. I'm one of the first people through in zone 4. Not looking forward to 13 and a half hours in economy, but could be worse. I could be on a 777. And here's usually where things slow down a bit. The dreaded gate check. G. Thank you.
Okay, when they're supposed to be turned off. Exactly. Thanks.
Look up in signature class. I was flying in there on my way to Seoul. This is a very smooth boarding process. Thank you. 34 should be right up here on the right. And we are home for the next 14 hours or so. All right, I'm gonna put my stuff away, and I'll do some updates during the flights, or during the flight. I'll show the food and the bathroom, and if anything of interest pops up, I'll let you know. Hopefully there's no one sitting next to me. But we've got power outlets, entertainment. And I'll be sure to let the lady next to me use this armrest as I'm in the aisle. I already have an armrest. But it's 1:15, so it should be time to take off. Fairly comfortable seat. Got power outlets, a couple of neighbors. And it was a pretty smooth boarding process. But once we are airborne, I'll go check out the loo, and I'll give you updates on the food and flight status as we go. And then I'll show the process once we land through immigration. It's time for, enough of that. It's the washroom. Or as they would say across the pond, the loo. Although I'll be crossing the other pond, or the pond on the other side of Canada, pretty soon. We're about 30 minutes into the flight. And I thought I'd go check out one of the bathrooms. It's small, but very clean, expectantly. I think only a few people have been in here. The flight took off on time. Everything is running on time. Flight attendants have been super friendly. I've got zero complaints. This is what I mean. When Air Canada gets it right, things go really well. And it's a Dreamliner, so it's a very comfortable flight. I guess the only thing that didn't go well was I had my camera in slow-mo. I'm thinking I might try to match the audio up to it because I record the audio externally and speed up the video. I don't know how that's going to look, but we will try. But the early impressions of the Loo are as expected. It's about a 9 out of 10. And this has been a Loo review. I think we'll be getting 2 meals and drink service and probably a snack. So I'll let you know what I have for both and how those go. But just in case there's someone waiting, I'm gonna get the hell out of here, so I will see you when it's food time, most likely. So unfortunately, there's a medical emergency on the flight. There is a medical doctor and a cardiologist on it. And apparently his numbers were pretty bad, but he is improving from what I've overheard. I don't want to show the guy in duress, but there's some of the good people who volunteered their services. So I wish that passenger well. All right, we have beef and potato. I just had to talk to the flight attendant for a second. We've got bread, a brownie, water, some vegetables, and a Diet Coke, and I'll let you know how it goes. And we are done. The beef a little rubbery and tasteless, but everything else was decent. And they've got the guy up front hooked up to an IV. They're trying to administer something. Apparently there's a cardiologist, medical doctor, and an EMT on the case. I'll update you if there's any developments, but it looks like we're well on our way, so this flight is going off without a hitch. It is 4:35 p.m. EST, so that puts us about 3.5 hours into the flight. Unfortunately, that person at the front is still going through their medical issues. I'll be avoiding recording him in that area, so I just wanted to give you an update from here. So far, so good, but for the last half hour or so, they've had the seatbelt sign on. We've gone through some turbulence, but I got to the point where I had to run to the Loo. Several other people were doing it, and the flight attendants are usually pretty cool about it. It's only when it's really rough that they start telling people to sit down. But yeah, this is the other bathroom. Nice and clean. So far, I give Air Canada top marks on this flight. But I'm going to have to go back. I've been doing some work on the laptop. In-flight Wi-Fi was $30, and except for 2 times where it cut out, it has worked pretty well. Well, here's an update you may notice on the screen there. The plane is headed to Vancouver. That gentleman who needs medical assistance needs it quite urgently, apparently, so we are making a stop there. I think the pilot said we're going to refuel and then be back on our way to Haneda. So it might be about an 1.5 to 2 hour delay in total. Not the end of the world, and at least this time it is out of Air Canada's hands, so I hope that gentleman gets the help he needs. And I probably won't record them. In fact, I won't. That process, just out of respect for the person in need. Anyways, there's your update. And hello from Vancouver. We have just landed. The plane is just all super quiet and awkward, so I thought I'd come in here just to let you know the update. I have no idea how long we're going to be here for. We've been landed for about 10 minutes. They've already taken the person in need off the plane. I think they have to take their bags off and refuel, I think the pilot said, although you think we would have had enough fuel in the first place. There's a number of people talking about how they're gonna miss their connections. I guess that's just the way it goes, but hopefully that person ends up... You could really hear that toilet flush. It's amazing how much quieter it is when you're not up in the air, but hopefully that person ends up a-okay once all is said and done, and we're only going to be a few hours late, so not a big deal. Hey there, so we are up in the air once more. That was about an hour and a half delay, about maybe 35 minutes into the delay. A flight attendant came on and said we would be taking off shortly. Everyone buckled up and we got ready, and then I think a good 45 minutes went by and then we finally took off. But we are in fact up in the sky, and I think we're about 9.5 hours away from Haneda, so part 2. The funny thing is, I paid a fair bit more to avoid the layover in Vancouver that was offered on another flight, and well, I guess I got that layover after all. And there's the only food I'm going to be eating for quite a while. They came around with snacks, but they were tuna sandwiches, which I find quite gross. I've already had this rant against Air Canada before. If you're only going to have one option, it should never be fish. That should just be a universal. But anyways, the lady next to me was kind enough to give me her cracker, and I was dumb enough to not bring any snacks along. So that is all I'm going to eat until the next meal service. Yes. It has been a grueling flight, but we are almost there. I've got fruit and eggs for breakfast, and this is just the second time I've really eaten on this flight. Still waiting for the drinks. And the next time I see you, I'll probably be deplaning. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, take care. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Welcome to Haneda Airport. Two hours late. But because of the delay, a whole lot of people on that flight have been rebooked, and a number of them are going to be spending the night here at the airport. It is nice to be able to move my legs. That was a very long flight, or should I say flights. So what I'm gonna do is just head out to arrivals and we'll wrap the video up there. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do Haneda to Shinjuku, an airport to city video. Oh, there's the Tokyo Skytree. What time is it? I have no idea what time it is. I think it is 5:53. This is one of two major airports. You can find yourself landing here. The other being Narita. And Air Canada actually flies to both. And what a lineup this is. All right, I'll come back when I'm through and let you know how long that took. And we will wrap this up. I've already got my arrival forms filled out online, so I have a QR code. Anywho, as Arnold says, I'll be back. Holy cow, that was a very, very long line. It took about an hour to get through. Let's see, what time is it? It is 6:45, if I'm not mistaken. We've made it to the arrivals. And I've got a shoelace to tie up, so I'm gonna wrap this one up. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. I'm going to maybe hit the loo and then make that video going into the city. Anywho, thank you for watching. Yoink.